Welcome into a new edition of KSR's Happy Hour presented by Country Boy Brewing. I never know when we're going to have that fancy intro, so there's always like that awkward pause. Am I waiting for that big KSR thing or am I just going? But it looks like we're just going. We're actually being broadcast through SEC Media Days. Steven's there behind the camera producing the show today. It's me, Drew Franklin, with Zack Geoghegan and Tyler Thompson. Nick Roush is at SEC Media Days in Atlanta, where that little blue box is right now. He will eventually pop up from the Omni there on scene on day one at the SEC Media Days. But right now he's a little busy, but he'll pop in when we can. But we still have plenty to get to with Tyler and Zack. To be July 14th, it is a very news and sports heavy time around Kentucky and Kentucky fans. As I mentioned, SEC Media Days there. Zack was just on the road following recruiting. Zack and Jack also just talked to the La Familia TBT team, which they start play later this week. I'm watching Summer League right now. Reed Shepherd gets started in about 30 minutes. If you like Major League Baseball, there's like an all-star game and a draft. It is busy times here around these parts, Tyler Thompson.
Yeah, it's weird. I was in North Carolina this weekend, and I feel like I missed out. Even though I was, somewhat on the computer on Saturday, I wasn't on Sunday. Got back to the computer last night, and I was like, man, there's just a lot going on. And if you watch any of the SEC Media Days, the running joke there seems to be that the Beyonce concert is also in Atlanta right now. So it's like, Greg Sankey's making Beyonce jokes, and Lane Kiffin. It's weird, but we're gonna need more Country Boy to cover it all, right?
Is that a Country Boy t-shirt I see? Are you double Country Boy logoed over there?
You know
Very
it.
nice.
I can grab my hat
Ooh,
and I've
double
got
dip.
a sticker. Yeah, I've got all sorts of Country Boy fun stuff. So
Shout out.
shout out.
This isn't me begging for free stuff, but this is the second straight week that my fridge is out of Country Boy. There were actually Country Boys in it yesterday, but I mowed in the 91-degree heat. I'm sure wherever you're watching from, it's hot. Here in Lexington, it was in the 90s yesterday, and I mowed, at about 1 o'clock. So when I got done, every Country Boy I could get my hand on was in trouble. So I am not partaking today. But we are glad they are our presenting sponsor, as always, here on our new. Oh, look at this! Look at this!
Hold on, you want to hear a nice sound?
Yes.
Ooh, did you hear it?
Kind of.
Or no?
It's
my
better.
AirPods.
Actually, have you ever done that before?
What? Cracked open a beer?
How did you not pull that off? It didn't sound right at all.
No, yeah, I did it wrong, I guess. I should have shotgunned it. That's what I should have done.
All right, now I'm really jealous.
Key lime.
Water.
That's probably my favorite one, the key lime one. I'm a big fan of.
Halfway home, my personal favorite. It's delicious.
Zach, the key limes, that's what I took down. One of which I don't even think
it's a summer
made it.
Beer.
I don't think it made it from my sidewalk to the top of my driveway. And my driveway is not long. It was housed pretty quickly. So shout out to Country Boy. But yeah, a lot to get to today. Let's just get started with the basketball because Roush will have plenty when he hops in. And Lord knows if anyone's watched KSR on YouTube, he will be coming in hot. There's no containing Nick Roush when we're all together on these things. But Zack, tell us where you've been. You just got in over at the Joe Craft Center with La Familia.
Yeah, so I was there. We had La Familia TBT Media Day today, so we got to meet. I think every player was there. Let's see. I think every player was there. We mainly talked to the guys that we haven't gotten to talk to yet. So we've already talked to the Harrison twins earlier this year, Willie Cauley Stein, all them. So we made sure to talk to like Jack especially was hunting down all the former UK guys like Archie Goodwin, Cleo Whitney, DeAndre Liggins, Deron Lamb, guys like them. So they all had some great stuff to say. I know to say. Jack was asking them about like if NIL was a thing, like would you still be here type questions. So a lot of really fun stuff getting to hear from all the former guys. They all seemed really excited to just be back here and kind of the aura of the Big Blue Nation and back where kind of everything all began for them. But we got to talk to some of the newer guys too, like DJ Burns, who played for Sean Woods at Southern. Sean Woods is the head coach of this team, and also played at Murray State. Shout out to Stephen Peak behind the camera there. And then Marquise Warwick, who was added today, a Lexington boy from Henry Clay, went to NKU, was like a stud there for 4 years. If you remember, he had like 3 or 4 threes in the last 3 minutes of Missouri's loss to Kentucky at the end of the regular season. That was Marquise Warwick, who was lighting up Kentucky and literally kept Missouri in that game from kind of getting blown out there at the end. So yeah, we got to talk to all those guys. They were all great. They're all awesome. They really enjoy being back here. I think the team's probably just talent and depth wise. You're probably looking at a better overall roster than last year. Like I was just talking about with Marquise Warwick and Ainsley Almanor as well. Two dudes that are fresh out of college playing SEC basketball. They're probably gonna and they're fighting for pro contracts too. So you're probably gonna see some big performances out of them. The first game's Friday night. I believe it's at 9 o'clock
Ugh,
against
9 o'clock
Stroh.
tip.
Yeah, it's a late one there on I think on FS1 in Memorial. So, but I'll be there. I'm excited for it. I'm ready. Last year was so much fun. We got a little bit of smack talk about Louisville from like Karen Cantor. He's back as well. He teased that we might get some Enos action this year. I know Enos kept saying that he was going to come last year, but had like some. Oh, there was a comment about Jesser. Jesser will not be on the team apparently as well. So he's not.
What?
He's no longer on the team. I don't. I think I'm allowed to say that. They said that we weren't allowed to talk about Jesser when we were at the media day stuff because he's pulled out. He's had like a scheduling conflict, so he's not going to be
Drama.
there anymore. Yeah, it was a schedule thing. No like beef between Ainsley Almanor and Jesser fighting for minutes or anything like that, not to my knowledge. So, but he's off the team, and really, what my favorite part was walking in and you saw Otega Owe and Brandon Garrison in the back corner, and there was Ainsley Almanor just back there, like buddy buddy, like he'd never left Lexington. Apparently, he's only been gone for a couple weeks, trying to do some training and getting ready for his pro career start, all that. So this is kind of his launching point for that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun down there. Jack stayed a little bit later than I to watch them practice. So they've got 12 dudes that can all go out there and play. We'll see how Sean Woods puts it all together and see if they can get past, I think, semifinals last year. So see if they can get over that hump, and we'll take down Louisville again in the quarters, and let's see if they can win $1 million this time around.
It should be an advantage with Ainsley Almanor. No offense to some of my favorites, some of our all-time greats, but they're getting a little older. The knees aren't
Yeah.
what they once were, but he's not too far removed from a tournament game. You said he just moved out to train a little bit, kept going. Do we think that'll be a big advantage having, it's weird to say youth around Ainsley Almanor if he was the old guy on last year's college team, but he is the youth at TBT now.
Yeah, and I think Jack was even saying, he could be this year's kind of Nate Sestina, like a guy that's still kind of in like the best shape of his career, kind of still getting into the prime of what his basketball skills can be. So you're probably going to see a lot of minutes from him, and I wouldn't be shocked if Marquise Warwick comes out and is the best player on this team, just being like I said, he's probably 23, 24, fresh out of college, fighting for a spot. He averaged like 16 points a game across 4 years at NKU. So this guy knows how to play basketball. He's done it for a long time at a pretty decent level. So I'm expecting some pretty big things out of Almanor and Warwick in particular, those two boys, and see how they can perform. They're probably going to do the bulk of the scoring, I'd imagine, for a little bit of this, along with the Harrison twins. Everyone else will filter in, but those two guys, they'll be ready. They'll be the two in the best shape, at least, of anyone else out there.
Zach, so can you double down on your Jesser news so I can tweet it out?
He's not on the team.
So he is not on the team.
He's not going to be on the team. He had a scheduling conflict, so he will not be there with the team this year. So I don't know what that means.
Tweeting it out.
Yeah, tweet it on out. So hopefully, I don't make anyone at UK mad with all that, but I think they'd figure it out eventually. So
Shannon will be so sad. I'm sure Shannon was looking forward to interviewing him this week on KSR.
Yeah, I was looking. Well, I kind of forgot that he was on the team until they told us, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I was going to interview him about whatever YouTube stuff he does. It's still kind of a little bit. That's a few years past my my YouTube viewing. I kind of stopped getting into the whole YouTube game, I guess, whenever he was getting popular. So yeah, no Jesser, unfortunately, but they've got 12 real basketball players who actually know what they're doing out there. So I think that's probably preferred if you're trying to win $1 million.
Fair enough.
I can confirm Zach's scoop. I've been giving Shannon a hard time.
Gotcha.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he had to step away. Tyler, who are you most excited to see, not just basketball, but back in Lexington, these conversations? A guy like Willie, we've been lucky to hear from a lot the last 2 or 3 years. Duran, Archie, some of these people we don't hear from as much. Who are you excited just to have back in Lexington and around the events? And then we'll get to some of the basketball we're excited to see the most.
Yeah, I think it's got to be, for me, Khalil Whitney. I think it just a couple of months ago, that thing came out about how he was struggling with mental health. It was like a mental health awareness thing, and that he kind of opened up about how he was going through some stuff during his time at UK, and all he needed was a hug. And the little I've heard from today's interviews, it sounds like he's really eager to reconnect with BBN. And I didn't like that he quit the team mid-year, but I'm always one for second chances. And if BBN kind of re-embracing Khalil Whitney helps him get back on the right track, then by all means. I mean, we were obsessed with him for a couple weeks. Like I remember him showing up at Big Blue Madness with the sunglasses and that really cool outfit. And I mean, come on, Dragon! Like the Dragon returns, the Dragon flies again. I'm ready for it.
That was my guy. I was so disappointed he didn't pan out. He's also my answer for excited to have back. No excusing the way he left, and it was not a good move to leave the way he did. I get why fans were bitter at the time, and he gets what he deserves, even though he was a young man that made that decision. But I am excited for him to come back and get a second chance with Kentucky, as we saw with that TikTok he had weeks ago, where he said he just needed a hug. If any of y'all looked at those comments, Big Blue Nation was doing the best they could, hugging him through the phone, and I think he'll feel a lot in Lexington this week ahead. I don't know Khalil, but I would just think he will really need that personally. That's a guy that was a 5-star recruit that looked like he had the world in front of him, and then those first few months didn't go well in Lexington and just set him on a different track than the NBA goal he wanted to achieve. But I'm excited to see him. Maybe he's still got some talent left. I know he was very athletic when he was at Kentucky. Wasn't quite college ready, but maybe he's still got some in those legs. He's not too old. A guy like my guy Duran, one of my favorites, I am starting to worry about. Let's see, he was a freshman in 2011. Duran's got some age on him. I don't know. Did you all see any? I'm not. No hate, Duran, if you're out there, but did you all get to see any clips of Duran over the weekend at the charity, or any behind-the-scenes talk of what he could bring?
Not me personally, no. But I guess if so he's a freshman in 2011, so that puts him probably in his early 30s or something like that. That's
Yeah.
still prime playing time. That's like LeBron James is 40. Come on, Duran Land can't go out there at 32 and play some basketball. Let's go.
Was Duran there today?
He was there.
All right, so that's one thing he's shown up for. I guess two, if we count the alumni charity game this past weekend.
Well, he doesn't
I've
sleep.
kind of got
So.
I've got some bets on whether or not he's actually going to be in that game on Friday. So I'm crossing my fingers.
Our friend Marsha Poe, big time KSR listener, she sent me a selfie with Duran on Saturday. So he's around, looking forward to him. And then, even though Archie, he's getting up there in years, if he plays anything like he did last year in the TBT, he was on another team, that Everleen Drive, but he was one of the better players on the court every game they played last year. So, Zach, I think Archie is another player who's a little more seasoned than his teammates, but I think he's got a lot of good basketball left in him.
Yeah, he's a TBT vet. He's done it, I don't know, since at least, his fourth, fifth, maybe sixth year in a row doing it. So he knows exactly how this event works, what it takes to win it. I think he's won it before as well, with that Eberlein Drive team a few years ago. So he knows what it takes to do all this. DeAndre Liggins is another guy I'm really excited to watch play. Does he still kind of have that dog mentality? Is he just going to go out there and try and lock up everybody on defense? So really excited to watch him in particular. Liggins was a guy that I really loved watching when I was growing up and watching him play. So I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So, and I gotta address Richmond's comment too. I. I'm not out of the YouTube game. I just stopped watching the content creators a few years ago. I got that was like, what do you know about Chris Smoove? Richmond, come on, like let's talk. If you want to talk about some YouTube content creators, I got you. We'll talk about it on the board.
And you became your own YouTube content creator. You're currently
exactly.
I'm not watching
in
the
this
competitors.
moment
Come on.
creating content. You mentioned Liggins. I mean, he's the most veteran. He even was pre-Cal. He had a year for Billy Gillespie, so he's got to be the most experienced of all of them on the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about this first opponent, the Stroh's squad. Friday night, 9:00, FS1. But got some Bluffton University, Hope International University, a couple Bluftons, Seattle. I don't want to get too far ahead in the bracket and looking past teams, but I think they should be able to handle business against this 8 seed. But you mentioned the Eberlein Drive, a past champ and Archie's old team. They're the 2. So to get to Louisville, eventually at some point on the other end of the Lexington Regional, there is some good competition. Plus the Auburn alums are in Lexington, gave them a good game last year. Isn't our boy KD Johnson on the Auburn team?
And Wendell Green, right?
Yeah.
Backcourt.
So
KD Johnson.
I can't wait for KD Johnson to go 2 for 13 against Lafayette, and Bruce Pearl find a way to make it to that game just to yell him off the court. So I'm ready for it all.
He's going to make a mean mug whenever he scores. That was the KD Johnson mean mug, was just epic.
Yeah, it'll be his first points of the game late in the fourth quarter. It'll be great.
I want to change my answer. Not Khalil Whitney, not Duran Lamb. I'm most excited for KD Johnson to be in Lexington.
Yes.
Yeah, so they got a pretty clear path there to the quarterfinals to play Louisville. So we'll see how it goes.
What do we know about X-rated? I mean, that's a weird name for a team.
It is.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I want to dive into that roster. I feel like
it's
that's a risky click.
I got it
it's
right
a
here.
dangerous Google. Yeah.
They call themselves a high energy squad. Actually, they got some
Danilo
players.
Shefu. I know some
Yeah,
of these names.
Sheffield
Yeah.
from Villanova. I feel like he's
See.
kind of old. Lance Thomas. Wait a minute. Do we have a squad here? A little worried about some age.
Eh.
They have a few records.
Bring them on.
Jalen Johnson from Louisville. They have a Cardinal on the team.
Duval
Okay.
is a name I remember as well.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
New
from
Williams, was his
Duke.
first name New? Was that guy first name New?
How do you get the
Scroll
name
down a
New
little bit,
Williams?
Steven. Yeah, New. I like that one.
Former Auburn player as well. All right.
Not old Williams. That's his dad.
So we still have a little bit to learn about the entire region. We're not quite as invested in the overall TBT as we are just La Familia. But Zach, as he said, has lots from those conversations. Jack has more from the other guys. All that'll be
Uploading to
on
YouTube right now. Content creator. Come on.
This guy.
Subscribe.
You know, I wasn't going to say this, but I heard they got rid of Jesser and they're going to call Zach. He is the new YouTube content creator.
I got 19 subs on my account. Let's go.
They saw that video of the what was it, the what challenge was it that you filmed?
Harlem Shake.
Yeah, the Harlem Shake challenge.
When Jack mentioned that, I removed everything from my YouTube channel. I made it all private actually because of Jack's text. So if anyone wanted to see that, y'all can blame Jack for that. It went viral. We had a few thousand views, for Dunbar High School back when I was a senior. That was good times. So we went for the Harlem Shake.
Let's keep the attention on Zach because you were just on the road.
Sure.
Little Rock Hill, South Carolina this time of year. How was that? Little Adidas. What's all the letters? SUSSB
3 SSB, 3 Stripes Select Basketball.
Okay.
I'll start with some non-basketball talk related to that trip. Have y'all ever stayed in a shared Airbnb before?
No, but I'm very curious about this after you told me the description.
Yeah. So it was with a very nice woman. Her name was Trina. She welcomed me into her home. It was like 5 minutes down the road from the event center. So it was a steal for a bargain. I said, let's do it. Let's try it out. She had kind of like an older house, but it was big. Like she had her own little area with her son, who's also named Zach. Just a great name, I guess. But I had my own little hidey hole section to put away. Like, I was only there to sleep pretty much. So, but I had my own room, a bathroom, and it was clean. That was the biggest thing. I was like, is this place going to be clean? It was very clean. So I was very happy with how Trina treated me and welcomed me into her home. I talked to her for a few minutes before I left. So they left me kind of to my devices, and she's been doing it for like since 2019. Like this is a whole booming business that she's got brewing down there, like bringing in traveling nurses and things like that. So if no one's ever done a traveling Airbnb before, and you're afraid of like murderers, I think I've got one in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Trina, she's the one to go to. But as for the actual basketball,
no. We don't care about no. We don't care about the basketball.
You have a shared Airbnb experience.
We don't care. We don't care. Forget Tay Kenny. We can look up Tay Kenny later. I need to know. I have so many questions about. We're now.
Bring it on.
Steven, change the side to say shared Airbnb. We are focusing. We're not moving on from that without questions. When you booked it, was there any chance I could get murdered? Like, were you a little uneasy before you showed up?
Well, I was very pineapples on the door. I didn't see any. I did not see any. There was several cats running outside the front door though, and but there was a little hesitancy of like, is this legit? Am I going to end up getting catfished into a torture chamber? But I looked at the reviews. She had like 200 reviews, 4.9 ratings. I was like, okay, come on, if this was a con, then it was the most well thought out con of all time, and she deserved to take my life. So, but I was glad that she was kind enough to let me live. So, what other questions you got for me on my shared Airbnb experience? I ate a lot of cookout.
You said she leaves you alone, but is there like any passing in the hallway, or like you go to the bathroom and she's in it and you have to wait your turn, or like?
No, we have like I said, it's kind of like separated. So I kind of had my own little area in this house. She had hers was like back in the back of the house. So I never really ran into her And like I said, I was like, I'd leave, at 9 in the morning, and I'd get back at 9 at night. So I really wasn't around them too much. But and then whenever I needed to, get dinner at 10:30, I'd pop on out and run over to Cookout and just tried to be extra quiet as a mouse when I was walking back in. But yeah, so it was good. It would no like I didn't have like my towel on or something walking out of the bathroom, and she was just waiting there or something like that. That did not happen, luckily.
So was
If
it a
I
shared bathroom? Like,
It was a shared bathroom with another. So she has two, like she hosts two people at the
oh,
same time, but the other room there was no one there at the time.
okay.
So I basically had my own bathroom at that point.
Oh, that's nice. But it was like
It
there like a
was.
communal living area, and I
Yeah,
guess you
yeah.
weren't
I
there
didn't I didn't
enough.
hang out there too much. No. It
Yeah,
looked like it just looked like someone's living room. So I
yeah.
wasn't and she was like, feel free to make yourself at home. I was like, I'm not going that far. I don't really want to just like act
Not
like
gonna
I'm
put
actually
my
living
feet up
here.
on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice to have for a 3 night stay, so I was perfectly fine with it. And if I am lucky enough to go back next year, I'll probably hit her up and say, "Hey, you got that? Is that room open? You got a traveling nurse gone? Let me pop in for a weekend."
Well, if I'd been a little more prepared, she would have been in the fourth box and not Nick Roush. We would have been getting her side of the story about checking out your profile, wondering if she's bringing a killer into her home. Because on her end, that's equally risky, I would assume. I
That
don't
is
know if
true.
All right.
That is
Tyler.
true.
What Tyler? What kind of
She's
price are you putting on your spare bedroom? Are you opening the door for anyone?
Depends, man. If it's the Vanderbilt game coming up in Nashville and whatever month that is, I can make a lot of money. CMA Fest. I don't know. They'd have to deal with Remy though. He's kind of loud.
Sorry,
oh,
especially
I
in
actually I have a
Nashville.
I have a dog story from the trip.
Ooh.
So at like 5 a.m. my first like the first morning I was there. I struggle to sleep when I'm on the road, really. So yeah, I'm up kind of early. So around 5 a.m., I start hearing like the clicking, clacking of like old dog toes, like kind of going around the place. And I'm not lying to you. This happened for 90 straight minutes. Every 5 minutes, the dog I could hear would come up to the door and like try and nudge its way in. And
Oh.
then after it realized it couldn't, it would leave. And then eventually I got up and I had to go take a shower and stuff like that. While I was in the shower, the dog saw its opportunity, popped right into my room there, tore up all of like the old cookout tray that I had from last night. There's no food or anything in there, but so I go out there. I'm like, "Hey, your dog has probably got half a styrofoam tray inside of its stomach. I don't know if that." And they're like, "Oh, that's fine. That's just what she does. She was old." But I actually didn't meet this dog until like my final day there. So there was a time where I was like, "Is this just like a gremlin kind of running around?" Because I would hear the dog, but I'd never actually see the dog. So it ended up being fine. The dog was super nice. It was older. You could tell probably at least 10 years old. But finally, I got to meet it, and it was she was a very nice little puppy. So, but they're
No.
like, yeah, she's old. We just kind of let her do her thing. She's not bothering anyone. I was like, all right, maybe let someone know in the Airbnb report that you have a dog walking around. But other than that, it was all fine.
All right, so when you weren't coexisting with strangers and their dogs and living off delicious cheap cheeseburgers from Cookout, I
Mm,
guess we will hear a little bit about the basketball. Mark
yeah.
Pope was there as expected. The assistants,
Hmm.
you were big tradition this time of year. Just following Mark Pope from court one to
Yeah.
court three to court four to see who he's watching. What all did you find?
Well, so this year is a lot different than doing it last year because around this time last year when I went, Pope had already only been on the job for what, three months at that point. So it was still kind of early phases of figuring out who he was recruiting, figuring out exactly who was on the radar, things like that. We knew like Jasper and Malachi, but other than that, it was kind of a all right. Let's figure it out on the fly. This year we had a whole list. I had a list of like 10 different dudes that I interviewed. There was a lot of like Kentucky natives around there too, but basically, I still did the same thing. Just follow Mark Pope around wherever he's going to be. Um, some of the guys he really was paying close attention to: Tay Kinney, Anthony Thompson, Deron Rippey, Cam Williams, Bruce Branch, Caleb Holt. I don't know if I already said him, but some of the bigger names in 2026, and then the 2027 kid Bruce Branch, who I was really impressed with. I think he's probably going to be a top five kid probably throughout the rest of his high school career. Kentucky was really paying attention to him and his teammate Cam Williams, who's a 2026 top 20 kid. Um, but I was able to break a couple of pieces of news. Caleb Holt's official visit to Kentucky, September 5th through the 7th, and then we've got Deron Rippey, who is awesome. Deron, everyone on KSBoard already knows it, but it was awesome to get it act like see it firsthand. Like that kid's a dog. If Mark Pope can get him at Kentucky, you're looking at just a really hard working player. Kind of the same with Caleb Holt as well. Um, And then, so Deron Rippey has his official visit for August 1st through the 3rd. So they're starting to bring some more kids on campus. Guys like Anthony Thompson are going to start scheduling some visits as well. He was really impressive. Plays for Indiana Elite. That's the same team that Malachi Moreno was on. He had 30 points, I think, in 3 of the 4 games that Brandon Ramsey and I watched while we were down there. So he was really impressive. He'll probably make Kentucky will probably make his top 5 or 6 whenever that comes out. They'll get a visit too. But one of the main things that stuck out about the whole trip was it's not even a joke anymore about Mark Pope. The man is always on the move. Like, so this happened Thursday, Friday, Saturday. When I would get there, he would already be there around like 9 o'clock, and then around two in the afternoon or something like that, he'd be gone. Cody Feger or Jason Hart, whoever the assistant was, would still be there. And then I'd look at my phone like 90 minutes later, and there's Joe Tipton tweeting that Mark Pope's watching Tyron Stokes 2.5 hours away in North Augusta at Peach Jam. That happened every single day. And then on Sunday, he took it a step further and said, I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm going to go watch all my Amari Williams throw cross court passes and Kobe Brea go 4 for 5 from three. So that was one of the things I really noticed is Mark Pope was really putting in the work on the trail. There's only a handful of coaches that I felt like were actually doing that. Calipari was one of them. I feel like he did that a couple of days where he did the old double dip. So there was a handful of coaches that did that, and Mark Pope was really paying attention to, like I said, Tay Kenny, which there's all the rumblings of Louisville making they've got the lean, but I did find it very interesting that Mark Pope made it a point to go continue to watch his game, same as the assistants. So I still got 5 or 6 interviews I got to comb through that'll be coming to KSR soon. I dropped a takeaways post earlier today. Brandon Ramsey and I are going to do a Zoom action episode probably tomorrow, where we dive into kind of our favorite guys and what we liked about them and stuff. So we got plenty of content. YouTube content creator, Drew. What is Richard think? What is Richmond talking about? Come on, man. I know you're a KSR
La
alum, but
Familia,
give me
get
some
this
respect.
guy.
Yeah, give me some respect here. So we got plenty of content coming soon, and I like Richmond a lot on the board, so I'm just playing with him.
Pope had some tricks up his sleeve in Vegas too. So there's a lot of UK people out there that aren't the guys we're watching on TV right now. Look up as the Rockets are starting. Reed and Toppin and maybe Butler. Unlikely Butler. They're about to play. But there's a lot of people just out there. It's become like an event for the NBA. And I know Pope has worked hard behind the scenes. He had a few little gifts to make his rounds with all the alums out there. And there are several. I mean, you name a former Kentucky player, you can go back decades. And there's a lot of them out there. I'd say close to 50. So it's not just the people that we're watching on TV. Pope's making his rounds with those guys too. So truly an unbelievable run of even Deron Lamb would admire the team no sleep that Pope is putting on
Well,
these days.
he'll be back out recruiting when Jack and Jacob are down in for Peach Jam. He'll be there, I'm sure, Thursday bright and early when the live period opens back up again. So he'll be back on the trail Thursday through Sunday doing all the recruiting he can. Oh, look who's here.
Hey,
Yeah.
outside nonetheless. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
I needed internet, so I went to outdoors. You would think
Best place.
the media days, it would be pretty media friendly. That's not always the case.
Oh boy.
Oh, there he
We
goes
already
already.
lost the sound. This is going about
There
how
we
he thought it
go.
would. Where'd your sound go, Roush?
Oh no, we lost
There
the
it is.
sound.
There it is.
That's not okay.
We're
All right,
good.
That would not be ideal. But no, yeah, it's been an eventful day. I feel like it's always pretty eventful when you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So yeah, it's been a busy day. I got kicked out of one area. I ran into 3 coaches, and then I got turned down from asking Clark Lee a question. So that was a little humbling. When you aren't getting enough priority to talk to the Vanderbilt coach, it really takes a dig at your pride. But Shane Beamer gave me a how's it going? So I guess that means he's a big fan of the pod. So hi Shane, nice to see you.
Shout out.
If there's any podcast that Shane Beaver is a fan of, I can assure you it is not you and Adam Luckett on 11 Personnel. Let's go piece by piece there, though. I heard in real time you being kicked off the air on your radio show. I was listening to Kentucky Roll Call. You were there, and then suddenly your voice got much quieter, and you said, "Hey, TJ, I got to go." So let our happy hour viewers know what went down at the Omni.
So the behind the scenes of it all, when you hear people on Radio Row, or what they're now calling the Digital Drive, which I just hate that name so much. I get it. We do radio shows and podcasts on YouTube now. You don't need to change the name of it. It's very stupid. But when you do a show there, you have to pay to play, and the pay is a lot. So we're able to use the On3 table some, but they're busy doing their stuff too. So I was like, you know what? I'll find a spot. and might go to the Airbnb, but we couldn't check in yet. So I was like, you know what? I'll find this place. And you know what? I actually found the place that Freddie Maggard and I did our first StreamYard stream from God knows how many years ago. Nobody was there. So I thought, oh, okay, this is pretty, this is going to work out perfectly. The security guard, he was really cool with it. He was just upset that I didn't have a phone charger to bum. And so, yeah, for 90 whole minutes, everything was good. Everything was fine. And then a suit came over, and he looked ready to rip what little hair I have on my head off of it. He was very angry and just like, what? He was talking to the security guy, and I was trying to avoid eye contact because I could tell he was ticked. But I eventually got to a point where I looked up and I muted my mic, and he said, "You can't be here. This is for TV. They can't do their jobs because you're being so loud." There were 3 people who did stand-ups over 90 minutes. Was I really interrupting their job that much? No, of course not. But some pretty boy who's messing with his hair for 30 minutes before he went on TV probably said Garrett Mayer instead of Nussmeyer. So he had to pick a bone with the radio guy over in the corner. You could do this somewhere else. I did not see any signs that said TV only. So, but I wasn't going to pick a fight. I was ready to. I had to hit the road. I had to go someplace else. So it was. Yeah, it's been an eventful start to SEC Media Day.
Eventful. You've been there like not even a full day, and I feel like you've had a full week of interactions. How is I did Nashville with you. I guess that was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. There's been Dallas. How's Atlanta welcoming you so far? Food been good? Accommodations good? I guess you're not checked in, but everything else.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Atlanta is that they do it at the College Football Hall of Fame, so it looks cool, but everything is very spread out. And my little Fitbit thing died, so I don't know how many steps I'm getting in, but it's going to be a lot more steps, a lot more steps. The one knock on this too is this area of town is nice if you want to go to a football or basketball game, but it's not necessarily the most happening place to go out and about and mingle.
Yeah.
There's stats. So, you know, we'll probably frequent there tomorrow. So it's fine. It's not my favorite. It's not the best. The internet is god awful, which is not ideal if you're working on the internet. But you know, we'll figure it out. We'll persevere. We'll push through. I did notice though, only 2 media events this year. Normally they have 3, so they're really slacking. That means we're going to have to really hit the open bar hard on Monday and Tuesday now.
Before we get into what you'll see later in the week, since you mentioned some of the media stuff, we got the trailer for the Netflix show, Any Given Saturday. A lot of people watching us right now have probably already seen it. It hit the internet about 2 hours ago. I think that's even the first time they've even put a title on it. But you get to see an actual screening of it, right?
Yeah, they're going to show the first episode for us tonight. And I'm not optimistic about what it's going to mean for Kentucky football fans because you know, they showed up at not the most opportune moments. That South Carolina game is one we'd all like to memory hole, and the Louisville game might have been worse. When the trailer did not feature 1 second of Kentucky, I feared that maybe my questions for Mark Stoops in his press conference aren't going to make the cutting room floor.
There was like one small mention of UK. It was Maxwell Hairston and Dane Key sitting on a stoop with a dog, and they showed it for like a split second. And then Drew, you noticed Deion Walker was in a roadster thing. I barely even noticed that. Like that, so that's what we got apparently. That's
I got to tell you how I learned that. I was watching and I saw the guy driving the 3-wheel roadster. And honestly, we're all friends here. Dion, if you're watching, I like you. But my brain literally went, who is that clown in the 3-wheeler? And I paused the video and rewound it. And, you know, I had to leave it on the screenshot to make out who it was. I thought it was going to be some dude at Texas, Bama. No, just Dion cruising the streets of Lexington in one of those roadsters. So our 2 clips are unrelated to football, which is probably a good thing. But beyond the Kentucky part, I think that thing's going to be awesome. Like, that got me fired up. Anybody else excited, or are we just too disappointed in the UK part?
They show Vanderbilt a lot, and Vanderbilt had a really fun season, so I'm excited to follow that. And speaking of Vandy, watching Diego Pavia walk around media days in a tux was pretty funny today. He's clearly still the media darling, but no, I'm amped. I mean, aside from Kentucky football being depressing, I still love college football. Like, there's nothing like getting ready for the first weekend of college football. So any morsel I can get to amp that up, I'm all here for.
Speaking of Vanderbilt, such a weird phenomenon we have going on where they are the most compelling team to speak on the first day at media days. It just, there were people standing on chairs to get pictures of the Vanderbilt quarterback. What world are we in? This flying cars happening now or something? I don't understand it. But some of it is because he's just a charismatic guy who isn't media trained. I tried asking questions to Austin Simmons, but that dude is a robot who just refuses to say anything fun at all. So I get it to that extent, and a lot of the Vanderbilt talking points are just more eloquently said than what Mark Stoops does. But there's a lot of similarities, right? You know, the two teams have to win in similar manners within the margins. You can't have a bunch of stupid penalties. You got to be able to close out one-score games. And then the coaches both deliver their message very boringly, but yet at the same time, if you really listen, some of the words they make a ton of sense. So I'm fascinated by Vanderbilt. Going to have some more to dig into that later tonight. But really, I guess the biggest stories from SEC Media Day, it has to be about what the commissioner said. And I still remember when I started going to this thing, I don't know, 10 years or so ago, that the commissioner was always the boring part where you could kind of still be drinking your cup of coffee to wake up because it was just a big PR speech. Well, now it's news breaking because there's so many changes, and he listed off a dozen topics or so. And of the top 3 or 4, I thought it was funny that Pavia kind of entered his crosshairs on one. He doesn't like guys filing lawsuits to try to get more years of eligibility. One, because it's out of the SEC's hands. You're giving all these random judges the ability to determine eligibility, and that takes power out of Sankey's hands. He doesn't like that. But secondly, it's limiting opportunities for high school kids. If you speak to high school coaches, they hate the portal because of that. Less guys are getting shots because why would you take a risk when you can just take a portal player when it's more of a known commodity? But the other one, the one that's the most pressing issue for UK fans, was he talked about the schedule. And guys, for the longest time, it felt like 9 was inevitable. But actually, I think now the tide has turned. The SEC might just stick with 8. And I said it when Alabama didn't get in on Selection Sunday, that, all right, well, 9 games isn't going to happen. But Sankey made it pretty clear that, hey, we don't have to change. I know there's financial reasons why you might want to in the revenue sharing era, but he essentially said, unless the College Football Playoff Committee starts emphasizing strength of record and strength of schedule more, then why would we need to play another league game? Now, the merits of, you aren't considering our strength of schedule enough. It sounds so whiny, but if it gets Kentucky to stick with 8 games and keep the Governor's Cup, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
One piece of breaking news before I ask Nick about what's ahead. Reed Shepherd is out for the rest of the summer league. Not hurt, sitting him out because he's playing so well. I thought we might get one more day with Reed Shepherd, but the Rockets and the Hawks just tipped off without him. So they've shut down Reed for Vegas. I know we were all excited to watch him today. But back to Nick. Still got a while before the Cats land in Atlanta. They are Thursday morning at 10:50ish. Mark Stoops on the big stage. He's bringing with him Alex Safari, Jordan Lovett, Josh Caddis. Are you excited for all those headlines Mark Stoops going to give you? I heard he has so many headlines that they couldn't even bring their normal flight. They had to bring in a big cargo plane to bring all the headlines down to Atlanta to you.
Are there going to be more headlines or hairlines?
Oh,
well, that is a headline. After your question to him a few years ago in Nashville, that could be a headline too.
I'm hoping that I'll get the chance to sit down with Stoops again. We'll see how that goes. But it is going to be the first time that he's answered questions about Vince Marrow leaving to a group of reporters. He's put a statement out. So that will certainly be news, even if he does try to make it as least headline worthy as possible. And then there's also the revenue sharing aspect. I mean, guys, how many times did we hear Stoops, whining about raising money and all that sort of stuff? And this is around the time last year when he
Right.
first started talking about how hard his job was, and there's this and there's that. So I'm curious how much of revenue sharing is alleviating that stress as well, or if he just believes, hey, we still got to have the NIL dollars if we're gonna make it work here. So that part's going to be interesting. It does just kind of the way UK handles players at this event. They see it as somewhat of a reward, and the problem with that is that they aren't returning a lot of guys. No offense to Lovett, Caddis, or Afari, but there's not a lot of juice to squeeze there. So yeah,
Gonna
yeah.
ask Caddis about winning Lexington Dancing with the Stars. Have him
Oh,
show
yeah.
off some moves. Like,
If you were in charge, would you have brought Calzada if you were the one picking the players or any of the newcomers?
Calzada's kind of boring too. He sticks to the company line. I like Shiaz Pete just because he's interesting and he says things. The one that is surprising is Josh Braun. I mean, he's going to be a preacher. He's been in school forever. He's going to get his graduate degree and then he's going to go to seminary school. He speaks very well. He's an all SEC guy at Arkansas. That feels like a very you want to make the big blue wall part of this rebuild. That felt like an easy one there. Maybe Caddis, like it would be awesome if Caddis just went, um, you know, full Sherman and just burned it to the ground with Vince and started talking trash about him. I don't think we're going to get
Might.
that. But in Lubbock can be fun. He at least is he's a pretty compelling character in that regard. Like he'll say some fun stuff. But really all of this event it's about Mark Stoops and I think the thing too is for a lot of fans, they want to see him motivated, right? Like I know that's a joke,
yeah,
but look like you're happy and excited and fired up for this job because a lot of Stoops' approach this offseason has been about not playing the blame game, about him taking personal accountability and us trusting him to fix it. So he needs to take on that onus by sharing a powerful message, one that can get fans to trust him. And here's the thing: he's not going to win over. There's only so much he can say that can win over fans. But if he at least exudes that confidence that I got this, guys, then some of the people who might be on the fence. This is the time of year we all start believing in crazy things, and maybe that can get some more people fired up and on board for what could be if nothing else, a fun 2025 season.
Before we let you go back inside to get into more shenanigans, probably get in trouble, maybe fight with more TV guys. What are some of the shenanigans on the unofficial schedule? We all can see the SEC schedule.
Yep.
I know when the press conferences are, but when's like John Neighbors karaoke night, or when's what are we?
I got some unfortunate news too that karaoke night is quote unquote pending. Which
what?
yeah, and part of it I learned is that Barrett Sally, Shane and the Dude's favorite SEC personality, apparently he now does stuff with the Braves. So
He's Braves pregame.
Yeah, so he used to organize it, but like we're in Atlanta, can you not just call the karaoke bar and tell everybody to show up? So that's pending. Yeah, we'll find a way to find a way. I mean, we're no stranger to people right here. There's a lot of folks who want to get out. This was the place where this is where I first met T-Bob at the Omni Hotel bar. I don't think we're going to have T-Bob this year. He's a big barstool guy now. But I do think that the Omni Hotel bar will get a little rowdy. At one point that year, the bartenders, if you stayed at the Omni, you got 2 free drink cards. They had to tell people we're no longer taking free drink cards. You all cannot keep drinking for free here. So hopefully it gets a little rowdy. I will note that Atlanta, so this is the 3rd time they've been here. The previous 2 were precursors to kind of, we just had a scooter wreck right here. Wow.
We heard that.
Heard
We
it.
actually heard that.
Yeah. It was like a
Everybody all right
cartoon
on that?
screech.
We good?
It's like,
We're good. All right. But the last 2, the first time they came here, Benny Snell said, "I'm the best running back in the SEC," and people were like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then Kentucky went out and won 10 games, and he was first team All SEC. The last time they were here, Will Levis came and he ate the stuff, the mayo. But then that was when Sunglass Gate happened with Mark Stoops and Shane
Oh,
Beamer, and things have kind of spiraled ever since. So maybe coming back to Atlanta is just the turning point Mark Stoops needs.
Well, I hope that's the case, and I hope the Omni lets you drink for free this week. And I mostly hope that Barrett gets things back in order. I know I'm a Braves guy. I follow him. I enjoy his Braves coverage. But it's the All-Star break. We were just home. We're home later this week. He has no excuse but to get everybody together because karaoke night's a big part of SEC culture.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I might have a few random curveballs playing for karaoke if it does get off the floor. So early rumor is that next year will be Orlando. So
ooh.
international drive might you know I, I've had some
This
fun down there at Citrus Bowls.
Why don't you make this week your window of opportunity so 5 years from now people are calling it Nick Roush's karaoke night?
Ooh, I
Someone
like
dropped the
it.
ball. Why don't you pick it up
Yeah.
and run with it?
Oh
Take some
man,
initiative.
that's a good point, Drew. That's a good point. I'm gonna have to hit the ground running. Um, this is a networking event, and there's no better way to network than to make sure that karaoke stays alive. So you know what? Boss's orders. What Drew says, I do. Tyler,
Do it
just
for the
stamp
brand.
that for
Hands are
HR
tied.
purposes. All right. I need.
Stamp of approval.
Okay. Good. Good.
Boss's second order, go to Johnny's Hideaway. It's going to be a bit of an Uber from where you are, but it's one of the top 5 bars in America. Don't ask why. Just look it up. Go to Johnny's Hideaway. It's not one of those places. Atlanta has several of those places. It's just
Not
like
Magic
going
City.
back in time. I
Not
think
going to get some chicken wings.
I think you can smoke in there. They still serve drinks in glasses. It's like it's a thing. So look it up. But Nick, thanks for joining us. You'll be on this same YouTube channel all week with Luckett doing 11
hmm
personnel and reactions. You all work around the clock down there. I've seen it myself. So enjoy the week while you can, and we'll all be tuned in to see what content comes out of it.
It's going to be chaos in all of the right and wrong ways. So appreciate it. I'll see you all on the other side.
All right. Godspeed. Good luck. Zach, what about the Reed Shepard thing we learned there in the middle as we were talking to Nick about football? Not that surprising. We knew what Reed wasn't going to play the full slate, but selfishly, I wanted just a little bit more. He didn't play great yesterday. I wanted one more game.
Well, they also pulled Cooper Flag out, so who's really better? It's kind of hard to decide at this point who's better, Reed or Cooper Flag. But yeah, Reed was great in his first game. He hasn't been like the shooting numbers haven't been great, but I think the Rockets just want to come out and see him try and like be aggressive and just play like he's the best player out there on both ends of the floor. And I think he did that at least in the first game. The second game, I think he was struggling a little bit more. Maybe had a few air balls that we won't talk too much about. But the Rockets still saw more than enough, they thought, to pull him out of it and stop him from playing. So. Kind of wish we saw the same from Rob, but I think Rob's been doing really well passing the ball. His shooting numbers have kind of been a little bit low too, but he hasn't really done the aggression level like that Reed has. So I think Rob's going to keep playing. But yeah, that's good for Reed. That's a good sign because you're about to be playing with Kevin Durant, buddy. So you need to up that game level a little bit. So it was nice to see him go out there and kill it for a couple games. But yeah, it would have been nice to see him go a little bit more. But I guess I'll just have to watch Kobe Bryant score 20
My
more points
goodness.
next few games. So
So, confession, I didn't have a chance to watch much of the games this weekend. I was out of town, but I'm just looking at the stats right now, just the leading scores. Reed was fourth in the entire summer league, 23 points per game. There are a lot of UK guys on this list.
oh
Number
yeah,
two, could you guess who the second UK guy on the leading scorers list is?
scoring list.
Chris,
Is it not
it's
not Kobe?
it's got to be
Not
Chris Livingston or Jacob
Chris
Toppin because they're
Livingston.
Chris
balling, both
Livingston.
of them.
Yeah,
Yep,
Jacob Toppin
Chris
might be the best
Livingston.
player on that Hawks team. Honestly, I've only watched one of their games, but he might earn himself a real contract this year. That'd be nice to see.
So it
He
goes
was
Reed.
awesome yesterday.
Yeah, Reed,
He's
Chris
just bigger than everybody
Livingston,
else.
Jacob Toppin, then right after Jacob Toppin is Kobe Bryant. So that's
There you
pretty
go.
impressive. So
When you
Yeah.
said Reed and Cooper Flag, one of them might be the best in summer league. I'm putting a vote in for Jacob Toppin. Kidding, but kind of not kidding. He's not the best there, but he has been very impressive. I watched him yesterday, and in the first half, he hit 2 very difficult off-balance threes, like he's been doing it his whole career. And I know we've had several examples of guys that we wanted more out of in Lexington. They go the next level and they have their breakout. But Toppin is playing like a dude where I'm like, man, if we had had an ounce of that in Lexington, not that he was bad, he still had great games in Lexington, but he really looks like he's hit a whole new level in these first few games in Vegas. Watching him right now, he's already got 7 in this one, still in the first quarter.
Well, if you look at Toppin's G League stats from the last 2 years, I mean, he's one of the better players to play in the G League. So it's not like he's, not, he's better than Summer League. Like he's kind of above that level. So it's nice to see him actually proving that. And like I said, he's on that two way. I think, yeah, Lamont, we were talking about on the board. He's been in street clothes. I think Jack said there was some other kind of minor injury for him, so they've been holding him out. So that's kind of a bummer for him. But and even for like, I almost feel kind of bad for Jackson Robinson because he's just kind of getting
Yeah.
thrown into a poopy situation where he's just had no time to ramp himself back up, and he's getting thrown into all this, and you can tell it's probably struggling for him, especially playing for my Cavs too. I want to see him earn himself a two way and get in, maybe get a full roster spot going into the season, but that'll be tough with them trying to win the East. So yeah, there's like 15 UK guys out there all playing well, so it's fun to see. You could turn on at any point, and you're probably going to watch a UK guy.
I watched it all weekend with Robinson. We knew when he hurt his wrist back in the spring that was terrible for Kentucky in the tournament. But I didn't even consider that when you get back, you're not playing against the guys you were playing against. You went
Yeah,
up a tier and you're recovering and rehabbing. It's like, oh, by the way, here's the NBA as you're
yeah,
bouncing back from that. So it has been a tough spot for him. I don't even think he checked in yesterday.
yeah,
Hadn't
not
played
really
well on
fair.
the two before that. Amari Williams, if you just look at the box score, it's pretty good, but it won't wow you. But Boston fans are loving him. He's brought the ball up the court a few times on a breakaway, showing off ball handling. He made an immediate cross court pass in his first game for a three
Hmm.
that kind of went viral. He's hitting his free throws. He and Kobe Brea, who you already mentioned, two guys that are on the fringe of making a team. I don't think either one of them could have had better starts so far. It's only been 2 games each. But of the guys just from last season's Kentucky team, those two are really shining in the desert so far. That's been good to see.
I'll be shocked if Kobe doesn't get moved up to a full contract at some point this season. I think he's gonna be too hard to keep in the G League for that long if he's already doing what he's doing right now. And we'll see how it continues to play out the rest of summer league. But when he can shoot that well, it's just, I mean, he's doing like turnaround fadeaways from the corner. Like it's not just spot up threes as well. Like he's going out there, he's getting into the lane, he's showing off kind of the full package like he was the last couple of weeks at Kentucky. So it's all translating well. And if I'm Mark Pope, I'm saying go look at the Amari Williams highlights, Kobe Brea highlights, and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's easy recruiting pitch right there. When you're over here watching Tyron Stokes play basketball, you got something, you got another little tool in your bat belt or whatever it's called. I don't know
It's
Batman very well. Sorry.
it was pretty fun watching Kobe hit his first 3 threes of summer league on Friday night. One more than Tyler. We'll get to those Q&A questions. But Rob Dillingham, I think he's third in assists. His assist numbers are good. He's shooting
Mhm.
it very poorly, but I've watched every
Yeah,
minute Rob has played. He is so damn fun. Even
Yeah.
his
yeah.
passes that kind of lead to nothing, and there's been a few that should have been assists, but a guy missed a dunk or missed an open three. He is just making the flashiest passes, and it just even in his games where the announcers are saying they're not his best, just watching Rob play basketball is such a pleasurable experience. He looks tiny out there, and he's weaving wherever he wants to go. The basketball looks like it doesn't even fit in his hands, but he is so fun to watch out there.
Yeah, it makes you wish you could have seen more from him at Kentucky, right? Maybe in a
Absolutely.
starting
Yeah.
role,
Yeah,
a late March run.
Yeah, a starter. Yeah, got 2 lottery
Yeah.
picks playing.
he's running
Off
the
the bench there.
show. He's running the show pretty well in summer league. If the shot had been going in, he'd be one of the MVPs we've all been talking about. But that'll also might mean we'll just get a little more Rob than we expected as summer league goes on.
Another guy
And
I want everyone to watch is I don't know if you've been watching him, Drew, the kid from the Trailblazers, Hanson Yang.
come
Not
on,
Andrew Carr. Andrew Carr is on the Trailblazers, but are you on the Yang gang? Are you on
listen.
that?
The
Are you the
the
president?
moment he walked out of the crowd in Madison Square Garden, I created the Yang Gang. I said on the show the next day when Andrew Carr signed with the Blazers, I said my two favorite big men in the draft. I'm all in on the Yang Gang, and his name is it? It's kind of they do it both. It's Yang Hansen or Hansen Yang, but
Oh,
he also
I'm
has
not sure.
his own clothing brand called Young and Handsome. So I mean,
Oh, I love that.
come
Yeah,
on.
he knows what he's doing, and he's going to be so good too. Like the Chinese Jokic comparisons are a little ridiculous, but when you watch him out there, you're like, this
Maybe.
guy is really, really good. So the Blazers look like they got a steal, kind of at like pick 16 or something like that. Yeah, it was a big surprise to see him there. But have you been watching Andrew Carr? I actually haven't been able to watch any Andrew Carr Blazers minutes. Has he been getting any run at all?
No, my Andrew Carr highlight is Andrew Carr walking across the bottom of the screen wearing the UK t-shirt yesterday. I thought
Okay.
that was cool. Thanks for
I
rocking
saw
that.
he gave Kobe Bryant a hug after one of the games, so that was kind of cool to see.
Uh, Drew Timmy is my other takeaway of not a UK player. We all remember Drew Timmy, unstoppable in Gonzaga, but you think, that old man ball can't last forever. He is just still doing it to everyone in Vegas. I don't know where he's been. Maybe he's been doing this in G League or in the NBA. Hell, I don't know. He put on a move and dunked on two people yesterday. I don't even think I knew that Drew Timmy could dunk, but Drew Timmy, another standout in summer league. I've really enjoyed watching it. I've been to
It's
Summer
fun.
League. I have been in the Thomas and Mack Center at Summer League, and I think I've watched more Summer League this weekend than that weekend. It's been a lot of
I,
fun.
I think
I think you were.
it's turned into like a whole, sorry, Tony, go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just saying, I think Drew was talking to himself on the board like all weekend about
Yeah, I
Summer
was.
League. Like
Yeah.
I would just check, every now and then check KSBoard to see what's going on. I'm like, man, Drew, are you okay, man? Just on the couch all
Oh,
weekend watching Summer League.
I was
Yeah, keep
debating
yourself occupied.
myself. Is Derek Queen? Is he going to work out? I don't know, Drew. Is he? Yeah. Been a lot of Summer League for me. I was kind of getting to this when Roush popped on and we had to switch to his topic, but we had the story of John Wall. He had the kind of gifts from Mark Pope, kind of that picture you put out. That's kind of what I was hinting at. I think Pope and Kentucky basketball did a lot of stuff for all the people out in Vegas.
Ah.
As I was mentioning, there's guys. It's just become a hangout, like a place to be.
Yeah.
Devin Booker was just at Wimbledon, but I think he's on his way out there, if not already there. DeMarcus should be popping up out there. Wall's out there. Rex is wandering around. I think anyone that has been a part of the UK brand, and they're even in the vicinity of Nevada this week, Pope and Kentucky basketball made a point to at least try to get everybody together or get something to them. So
Yeah.
busy times out in Vegas, not just what we're watching on NBA TV here.
Yeah, I just sent Steven the John Wall. He took a picture or video of what he got from Pope. It's awesome. Like I want that jacket. I want
Oh,
everything. It's
a little
very
trading
cool.
card too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
the
it's
whole
awesome.
summer league's turned into like a networking event almost over the last few years for all these NBA people. Like it's a who's who celebrity situation. Oh, here's
Look
John
at
Wall
there you
stuff.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
I
the
know a
Ace
little.
card too. Ooh,
I know a
that's his.
little
I think
more
his
than I'm
son's
leading
X's.
on. I know a little more than I'm leading on, but someone I know had to customize something for each player that's out there, a gift, and I got to see a picture,
Mm,
and it was quite the undertaking. A lot of cats out there, so that's very cool.
nice.
We're already
Yeah, good on
creeping up
Pope.
on the hour there, so I saw we had a lot of questions. The Q&A, I always enjoy wrapping up with these. I know we're already at 5 o'clock, but let's spend a little time going through those if we can. Tyler, will
yeah.
you read these? I'm still on my phone, so I have to.
Yeah.
I
So
can do this
what?
again like that one time, but I kind of look like a serial killer with the long hair.
So this is from McBeal Nut from KSBoard. What embarrassing or surprising thing is on your TikTok algorithm? She said she'll go first. Lots of mukbang, North Sea videos, and those high school reunion flashbacks to current day selves to the song Spirits. I don't know about the stuff she listed. I'm more on Instagram Reels than TikTok, but it's the same thing. And I've been getting lots of deep cleaning videos, and I don't know. It's not because I'm a super clean person. I'm tidy, but I don't spend my days deep cleaning my house. But I'm almost wondering, is that a hint that I should be
It's
is
trying
the
to lead you
algorithm
on. Yeah,
trying to tell me something? I don't know. It's very weird. It's like people will before they go to bed. It's like this is what I do before I go to bed. And they're steam mopping their floors and their cabinets.
mm,
And I'm like, what in the world? So I don't know how I got into that weird corner of the internet, but
it's
that
a
along
dream.
with dog videos and traveling, it's odd. So
Yeah, I get a lot of animal and
yeah.
animal videos for sure. But one that has actually been surprisingly popping up over the last couple weeks is, and I think I know why. One of my buddies is sending me some of these videos, and I interact with him, so I think they're just popping up on my own. But dancing cartoon rats
What?
has been is a new thing that's popping up, and sometimes I'm like I'm watching it. I'm not really sliding too fast. I might even hit it with a like a couple times. If the music's good and the rat's got a good little jig to him. So yeah, there's always some interesting things. I don't know what North Sea videos. I don't know what McBealnut means by that. That has not been coming across my algorithm at least.
Well, all of this is going to be on your algorithm now because the phones
Yeah,
are
Oh yeah.
most
listening.
likely.
So.
Hey, I'll take the deep cleaning videos. That's the aesthetically pleasing stuff, so I
It
can
it
watch
is
that.
it is a little bit like the pressure washing videos that I know we
Yeah.
both love. It is like satisfying, but there's also the guilt. It's like, do I need to be doing this every night before I go to bed? Am I just like this slob not steam mopping my cabinets? But Drew, what about
Yeah.
you? I know you're into the goodbye goodbye calls and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
I've moved on from that. My algorithm is a lot of times it's a lot of New York City, especially since I've just been there and I'm always looking up restaurants and stuff. But mostly, my wife sends me a video of a golden retriever about every hour. So I'd say I'm probably three to one dog videos right now when I get on my phone, and it's all stemming from her sharing so many.
uh,
I kind of feel like she's hinting at something. I haven't quite picked up on the message she's sending yet, but it seems like she's trying to communicate something to me. I'll figure that out soon. So a lot of dog videos, but I did find one a few nights ago that I got hooked on. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's an Uber driver, and he had just had three. I don't know. I didn't see him. I'll say college age young women in his back seat, and they had just gotten out of his car, and he just takes the phone and he's like, "I'm in. I think it's Sacramento. If your name's Samantha and you're friends with Heather, Emily, and Melissa, Melissa slept with your boyfriend. Your dad's extorting so and so's dad through the country club through this. So and so slept with so and he spills all of the tea that they
oh
said in his
wow,
back
All
seat.
right.
I love
I'll
Well,
that.
you send me those. Yeah.
Samantha did find the video. It wasn't even a guy with a
Oh.
big following. And now every party involved is explaining their side of the story. The Uber driver is now interacting with them. They're like, "Why did you do this?" And he said, "I told
Uh,
you in my car I was going to do this." So there's these four young women that I knew nothing about 2 days ago. Now I know everything about except what they look like. And it's all because this Uber driver just took everything he heard driving
what a
three girls
match.
around and absolutely blew it up. I mean, there are so many layers to this. Boyfriends sleeping with boyfriends,
What?
Mm.
dads committing crimes. It's wild, all because this guy wanted to share it. So not
Secret
really an
Lives of Mormon
algorithm thing.
Wives. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need a TV series. Hell,
Yeah.
Dateline hadn't had a new episode in 6 months. That's its own topic. But I've been hooked on my man, the Uber driver out in California. So I guess that's my answer to that one. What's up
Yeah,
next?
you'll have to send me some of those videos.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to all of you. We're done. Heck, I might even try to pull it up here now.
Can you read that one, Drew? I don't think you
Yes,
need your glasses for that
that
one.
one's good. Thank you, Connor. Connor, one of our best KSBoard contributors.
Hmm.
If he hadn't been there since day one, he's been there close. Day two or day
Oh
three,
yeah,
probably day one though.
loyal.
Floor and ceiling of this year's Kentucky basketball team. Zach, you've been all around basketball. You go first.
Well, ceiling. I mean, I think they. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take to say that this team has national championship aspirations. I think that's kind of what everyone's assuming, or that's the goal this year. That's what Pope will tell you, and I think they have the depth and the talent to make that all happen. So I definitely think the ceiling is going and winning a national championship. The floor, I think, is pretty high. That's what's nice about having all the depth and like Brandon Ramsey and I like to talk about. You've got like a group of five guys. Let's say it's like Jasper Johnson, Yelovich, Colin Chandler, Cam Williams, Trent Noah. You really only need like two of those guys to kind of really step up and play above their expectations for Kentucky to have a really special season. So, there's a world where five of them, all five end up being better than you think. So, but even in a world where it's only one or two, that still sets your ceiling pretty or your floor pretty high. Just having so many talented pieces. A lot of it'll just depend on Jalen Lowe too. Like, how good is that kid? Does it translate easily? Is having a bunch of more talented players? No disrespect, well, some disrespect to the former Pitt team that he had, because they just weren't that good, and he's just gonna have a better team around him. So if Jalen Lowe is kind of what everyone is hoping, then I think you're looking at a special team. But the floor, I'd say, is still, this is a no doubt NCAA tournament team, and that's in the event that like Jaden Quainton's rehab goes wrong. Jalen Lowe isn't as good as everyone thinks. Things like that. I think even in a worst case scenario situation, you're still looking at a pretty solid foundation and a team that can go 7, 8, 9 deep, stuff like that. And Pope's going to play his guys. He is. He's definitely going to give everyone the chance. So you just need a handful of the select few to really step up. And I think the floor and the ceiling are both pretty high. So I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but we'll find out in the comments here soon.
I sent Steven the TikTok. Are we able to play this? I don't even know if the language is good. Hell, it might not even be that
Oh,
funny, but I've
gosh.
enjoyed it.
I'm so
Video is
ready.
for Rachel. Listen, I just had 4 of your friends in my Uber tonight, and I just dropped them off in Hermosa Beach. So you're meeting up with them in Hermosa Beach tonight. But Rachel, they were saying that your dad has a real estate firm here in Hermosa Beach, California, and they said that he's money laundering and he's doing tax evasion. Also, your friend Brittany slept with your boyfriend Wyatt when y'all went to Mexico last year, and she said you broke up with Wyatt and you went with a guy named Chase. So she felt like it was her opportunity to sleep with Wyatt because they always had a connection. So her name is Melissa. Melissa said that you don't know how to dress, that she poured her heart out to you for your birthday. She bought you some shoes, and that you were ungrateful for the shoes that she got you. They're meeting up with you right now on 4th of July. And basically, these are not your friends. So I hope this video finds you, because they're clearly not your friends. And even when they got out the car, they were like, "Oh, you heard all our tea." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to tell her what you guys said." And they all bust out laughing. So
All right, there we go. There's my guy. So
I'm obsessed.
now there's like chapters to that. All parties involved have made their own videos, but that's what I was talking about. I thought that was quite interesting and hilarious, and I spent way too much time investigating the rest. And why would anyone do that?
The quotes, your friends.
Don't talk in an Uber like that either. You know, there's
No.
some people forget that there's someone driving the car, and they're
And
hearing
he's
everything.
just rattling off everything they could possibly say as quickly as he could. What's this one say? You're gonna have to read
All
that
right.
one, Tyler.
What is one food you think you could eat more than the average person in an eating contest? So her example is, this is also McBeal nut. I can't win a Reese's Cup eating contest, but I can probably eat more than an average group of 50 people. I'll start because for me, it's popcorn. I love popcorn. I will go to the movies just to get movie popcorn. In fact, we're going to go see Superman at some point. My husband loves Superman, all those types of movies. I'm going because there's a dog in it, apparently, and I can get some popcorn. So I will be the KSR popcorn eating champion.
It's a good answer. We're a big popcorn house over here. Recently bought the Costco box of popcorn. It has like 48 bags in it. So I might give you a run for your money in the popcorn contest the way we're eating over here in this household. But I'll say tacos for my answer. Anyone that follows KSR knows I'm very open with my addiction to tacos. I think my stomach is now trained to handle them better than most competitors. So if I were in a contest, I'm confident I could hold my own taking down tacos.
You know, I think I can eat 9 Jeff's donuts in 15 minutes.
We can put this to the test.
No, it's probably nut. The real answer is Nutty Buddies. The little wafer with chocolate and peanut. I can eat. I've actually have eaten a whole box of those before, and they come in packs of 2. There's probably 16 of them or whatever in one box. I can eat a big fan of those. They just go. You know, the wafers are kind of light, so they go down easy. And I love those things. Give me a food contest for those. I'll eat 2 boxes in 5 minutes. If the KSR fans want to give me $5,000, I'll happily do that in Ryan's
This is going to
backyard.
sound crazy, but I think there is an eating contest for that. Because I watched the Nathan Todd, I watched the Nathan's hot dog eating contest every year, and when they bring out the people, when they're introducing the contestants, they have like their titles, and I'm pretty sure that was one of them. Because I was like, man, that sounds like a great eating contest. So there you go, something to look forward to next year.
I'll sign up for it.
Aaron Hudson in the comments is saying, "Oh no, Zach, don't bring this on yourself. Don't." Ask Ron Lemon about writing a check that you can't cash.
If you want to give me $5,000, I'll eat I will put myself through all sorts of misery for that money.
So in the comments, Richmond Ramblet asked about the new crazy popcorn buckets at the movie theater. Have you all seen these?
I've not seen.
They're like movie themed, like based on whatever movie you're going to see. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how expensive they are?
No,
they're like
I'm not
$20
a big movie
to $30 for a popcorn bucket. I mean, I know that it's just tough times for movie theaters and they have to make money somehow, but who is going to pay $30 for a Superman popcorn bucket? I mean, hopefully that wasn't Richmond and I didn't just like insult him.
Richmond has a collection of $30 popcorn buckets and he's now crying himself into the bottom of all of them.
No,
I tried to go to a movie this past weekend. I tried to go see F1. I was like 20 minutes late. I haven't been to a movie theater. I can't even remember the last time I've been to a movie theater. But I was going to try to go see F1 this past weekend, and we looked up the times. It was one of those, like, could I get there in 3 minutes? Nah, just missed that one. But enjoy Superman. I like the superhero movies. Just never get to the actual theater.
I'm sure, Abby will send you a video of the dog in the Superman movie. So I'm pretty sure it's Golden Retriever. So
yeah, well, she actually just sent me the Uber driver video. So if it's not a dog, I'm getting videos like that. Do we have any? We've run a little long, and Steven, I know you're in Atlanta back there and have lots to get to. Did you have any more questions for us? Oh, here's one right here.
Yeah,
there's a fresh one down there.
Pick a Kentucky basketball player from the last 10 teams to add on to this upcoming team. Who would you choose?
I'm trying to think of areas that they might need some help at.
My brain went point guard since we have uncertainty there.
Yeah,
everywhere else, we kind of know you're all right. At least someone will work out. Point guard, if you told me I think Ulyss is too far back. Like a Shea.
Shea would be great. How could you not add Shea?
Shea would be nice to have an MVP on the team.
Rob Dillingham. Give me Rob.
Oh, that would be good.
I was actually going to say Reed. I think that could be a nice little addition there.
Reed would be good.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Kobe. Thinking back 1 year, this team could use another shooter. He knows Pope's system. Easy. He would know his role pretty well. But there are much more exciting possibilities if you go back further in the Cal era, for sure.
Yeah. I think Ulyss would fit. He's last 10 years.
Was he? Yeah, he's right on the Cal. I thought Fox might be the first that was fit. But, I think point guard's the way to go in this.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
some sort of shooting guard.
They should be pretty set at forward, but on the off chance they weren't, I think a PJ Washington would be with Pope. His second year, maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say he was 40-something% from three, and Cal actually let him shoot a little bit. That wasn't a knock on Cal. I think PJ has a lot in college. Now he's doing it for the Mavs regularly, but I think his three-point potential, Pope would have tapped into that a little more. And what about a Nate Sestina? He could step out and shoot it a little bit.
I like that.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see how he'd use someone like Oscar. Obviously Oscar's he was kind of limited to those two areas. So how would Pope? How would he expand him beyond just sitting around the rim and rebounding everything that comes his way? What kind of skills would he have been able to add, or maybe even take away? That'd be interesting.
He would look at the data. Whatever the data told him, he would follow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think point guard's the way to go. My final answer is Rob. You went Reed.
Yeah, I'll say Reed.
Kobe.
I like it.
I'll take Kobe. I'll take any of those people on any of the teams. Yeah. Kobe Bryant. I want more Kobe Bryant after seeing him right now. But I guess that's enough for us. We'll have more of us next Monday when over an hour this time around. Thank you all for joining us in another happy hour presented by Country Boy. Thank you to Nick for joining us in the middle of the chaos and adding to the chaos. I love that he was outside and that we actually heard a scooter mishap as he's talking there. That media days, get ready. He's got 3 more days left. We're scratching the surface of Nick Roush potential down there in Atlanta. And Steven especially, who has actually sat here for the entire hour and 15 minutes, hitting all the buttons, making this work. Steven, thank you behind that little blue box. And I know that you, Steven, have the task. There he is. You have the task of actually being step by step with Nick Roush this week. So good luck.
Gonna make for some interesting content on this YouTube channel for sure.
How many? I think there's an echo. I don't know what you can do with that, but how many hours of sleep a night you'll average with the Roush Luckett crew?
It's going to be a little better because we don't have him saying roll call at 7 in the morning since he's moved to noon. That was like the worst part of it last year. So
and he would even try to be like quiet with it. He'd be like roll call. Like in a very strong whisper, but even then.
Yeah, it was like last year. We don't have to be up till 9:30. That's awesome because we had a late night last night, and then around 7:30, I'm awake and listening to Kentucky roll call.
That year in Nashville, which Nashville's a different beast, you kind of have to go out in Nashville. Atlanta, you can get some sleep, but I remember, I think we got in near 4, and I heard that damn roll call at 7 a.m. from the other room at the Airbnb we had, and I wasn't ready. You weren't ready. Luckett wasn't ready. I'm glad you don't have that this week.
No, you and Luckett and Roush were getting after it. I have no idea how you guys were able to be in there and be alert for the coaches talking early in the morning. But y'all were there. I don't know how. I mean, I couldn't hang with you guys.
Yep. I think we, of all outlets, I'll even include ESPN from an individual work output performance. I would say it's like Roush won. I'll include you and Roush at the top. Luckett just behind Roush because he had the show, and then me. I'll put him against anybody that's at SEC Media Days for balancing work and play. But enjoy it again this week, and we're looking forward to everything to come out of it. Zach, thank you. You were gone all weekend, living with strangers, putting your life on the line. Thank you for doing that.
Right
We're looking forward to TBT coming up. And Tyler, we'll see you on the website as well. We appreciate everyone sticking with us through the website, YouTube, social media, and everything. We'll be back here next Monday and everywhere else all the time, basically. It's KSR. Thanks for following us.